Governments are working with their diaspora communities in America, and the Tanzanian Embassy in Washington and the Tanzania Diaspora Council of Tanzanians in America are organizing a major conference to examine the roles of diasporas. I recently sat down with the Tanzanian Ambassador to the U.S., Mwanaidi Sinare Maajar, to discuss why the upcoming conference is important to our government.
It's just a continuation of the government's policy in how it engages the diaspora. The government has a policy which emanates from the election manifesto of the ruling party, that it will continue to recognize Tanzanians living abroad, and it will continue to engage them so that they can participate in the development of their country. And where possible, also the government can assist them, facilitate what they are doing where they are.
There has been analysis across the continent of Africa, and it has been established that the diaspora is actually contributing a really big chunk of finances that are helping to build their economies back home. What is the share of the Tanzanian diaspora in the U.S.?
We're not in the U.S., but across the world, we have not been able to capture the totality of the remittances that come from the diaspora. We've had, in 2009, I think 2010, the amount doesn't even hit $10 million annually, which is far below many countries, including Uganda and Kenya in the same region, and Nigeria. We believe there is a lot of remittances that is going out through the informal channels. We have not yet established a process which is user-friendly for our people to use to remit funds. In this year's Diaspora Conference, the Bank of Tanzania has been asked to come to do a presentation on what the bank is looking into to ensure that it encourages and mobilizes remittances coming from this side.
So other than tracing the remittances and establishing how much is coming in, what is the government doing specifically to show clearly that it does appreciate the diaspora? What being put in place to encourage the Tanzanians in the diaspora to make more contributions to the country?
Well, the government has established a department, a full department that is headed by a person of a directorate level, that's a level as an ambassador, who will now be monitoring and coordinating diaspora activities and engagement with the government. In 2008, the president declared, emulating the African Union, that the Tanzanian diaspora is a region for purposes of budgetary allocation and development planning, so that can be followed up. And there are issues that have been agreed up following previous diaspora conferences in London and other places, and now in America in the last 2 years, of issues that now the government has to do. One of them is to encourage Tanzanians to seek to invest and to be able to facilitate the investment, because some do come but they do not know how to go about. They have very little time. They do not know how to go about it, the bureaucratic system, or even the simplest process for them to acquire land. Even in this particular conference, we are going to have people from the Ministry of Land to tell Tanzanians what they should expect when they go home and they are looking for land.
But speaking to many in the diaspora, some have actually expressed frustration that in as much as they desire to go home, to go invest back home, they find impediments. And one of the biggest one is the dilemma they have of choosing, after some years, what to be Tanzanian or to be a United States of America citizen. Where is the government on this issue of dual citizenship?
The government is now committed to deal with the issue of dual nationality, and it's going to be part of the constitutional review process that we have. That is the decision of the government. And I don't see us being different from Kenya. Kenya already, they took it in their constitution now. If you look at the Kenyan constitution, it has specific provisions that say no Kenyan shall lose his citizenship simply because he took another country's citizenship. And then it says even if you lose that citizenship, steps will be taken to give it back to you. I see Tanzanian adopting that kind of provision because there is so much goodwill in government, political goodwill, and the parliament is the area that we thought there could be resistance. Now that with the continuous engagement and what they see coming out of the diaspora, the parliament is even asking the government in this last session, why are you delaying? So I can see that this dilemma of making a choice will soon be history.
The three-day Diaspora Council of Tanzanians in America conference is set to begin September on the 23rd in Dallas, Virginia, just outside of Washington.